new members and to the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. And that's truthfully as honest as I can be to start it off. You guys are an integral part of what I do here. The members of Tom's Army, I owe you a debt of gratitude, so I can't thank you enough for the members that are here and everybody who continues to watch the content during the good, bad, and times of indifference. But understand that we're leading into something special. We've had a very, very long consolidation with XRP, and I believe it's our job now, or it's my job as the one putting this content out, to lead everybody in the direction of understanding when we start this that it may not be the same people here. So I've got to keep going over the same things over and over. And if you're new, you're going to appreciate this. If you're older, you might think it's repetitive, but it's necessary. The one thing I want everybody to understand, one, if you're new, I won't cut my hair until XRP gets to $1. Some people are asking why it's so long and my goatee, and now they understand. I said back in July of 23 that I wouldn't cut it again, my goatee or that, until at least it gets to $1. Julie's on board with it, so all's good at the home front. Second thing is XRP's been in a consolidation since we hit the pattern formation high, all-time highs at that in January of 2018. It took us just over 2 years, it was about 27 months, until March of 2020 before we finally hit the floor at 10 cents roughly. So you're talking, we went from all-time highs, and you can speculate on exchange at like 360, 350. I always say 350. Coming from 350 to 10 cents. It took us from January 2018 to hit the resistance, March of 2020 to hit the support. Now we've converged, a converging triangle. We're consolidating. The moment if it breaks up, this pressure that's building up, these are bullish consolidations now. If this builds up and breaks out, you've got maximum potential. Even in the short term, the initial spike out of here would be massive. And it's not like everybody's like, oh, massive, that would be 2,000 or 20 or 10. Massive to me is the potential that we could get back up to that $1.98 and then a little bit more from the built up pressure. And then if you consolidate properly, we know we're one step away from the push to the 350 all-time high. Exchange dependent on the actual price. But I think you have to make players whole that are up there at 350 that's been holding since 2017. They're not going to leave liquidity on the table. Even if this is done, they're going to go tap the liquidity pool. So we got a lot of potential here, and we're getting very, very dangerously close with what Bitcoin's doing. And I dare say we're one God candle away here from having a 15, 20, 25% quick spike here up to around that 66 cent level. That's that rising channel resistance. So I'm going to turn on the comments. I'm going to do the intro real quick and just timestamp this. But I want to make sure to give a very nice rundown for everybody every time I come on so that we understand where we're at and the potential we're looking at. We're looking at untapped potential here out the wazoo. This is a nice little thing I'm also going to put. We're going to continue to read in about what was acquired yesterday. But I think that's a nice thing to kind of touch base on for anybody who doesn't know. So let me turn on the comments. Wow. There's 62 people here, so it's probably in my best interest to grab my phone and be able to read, the comments. Because I'm not going to be able to see them all on my tablet right away. So here's my phone. So good evening. 6:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, February 14th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So, first and foremost here, before I get started, happy Ash Wednesday to everybody. It's the start of Lent. Everybody asked me what I've given up. So you're going to see a little, something I've been working on for 3 years, as you got your 2.5, confrontation. So, I'll be tested, I'm sure. But confrontation is my goal for Lent. CZAM, good evening, and then we're gonna get into this once I get through the hellos. If you're new, I like to say hi to everybody. Kryptonian, good evening. Messi, Hector, welcome. Harvey Boy, Matt Holden, first member in Tom's Army that I see in chat. Welcome, Matt. Thank you for being in Tom's Army. You got the emoji badge of the XRP meteor coming down to Earth. That's the 5th or 6th month of being in Tom's Army. I appreciate that. And if you were in Tom's Army before and you did not renew, you do not start over in month 1. So if you come back to Tom's Army at any time, it goes where you left off. So just rest assured with that. Mark Caston, good evening. David Nikiza, welcome. John Hall, welcome in, brother. Good to see you in here. Randy, good evening. He's got the 589 badge. That's the 2-year badge plus. The 589, not $589 at the end of 23.589 cents. Love it. Hector, welcome in. Your thoughts on a token that's in Lobster works with XRP and XLM. I don't even know what token you're talking about, but I'm not a big fan if it's a lobster related one. A lot of stuff goes on in that front. CJ2 Pilot, welcome in and thank you for being in Tom's Army 5 to 6 months here with the XRP Meteor. Tanya, good evening, love. Welcome in from the other side of the pond. In Tom's Army for over a year with the I Told You So badge. Much love, Tanya. I appreciate you being here. And we'll look at H-Bar today just for you as well. Hector talked about SHX. Man, we've talked a lot about that past few days. We might get into that, Hector. We might get into that. White Lotus, welcome in. Good evening, and I appreciate you watching. Albert, good evening. New to your channel, I subscribed after being binge watching your intel. I'm all in, holding a bag as my patriot brother. I hope you went back sometime into 21. I hope you got to experience that whole ride. Obviously, I was a little bit different back then, but that's where it all began. Hamza, good afternoon, and I appreciate you tuning in and subscribing, Albert. It's awesome to have you aboard here. Shani, I don't know, I probably butchered that, but David said that they have a SWI. John London, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 2 years plus with the 589 badge. I greatly appreciate that, my friend. Who else did I miss? Elias, welcome in. I appreciate you tuning in. JM, thanks for being a new member in Tom's Army this month. Month 1 emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Oh, yes, it's true. That's me being abducted by aliens in that emoji badge. And Amber, I'll forever be grateful for her for making this emoji badge for me early on in my social media career, I suppose, as an influencer. And I'm using it as my month-month badge for all eternity to show my debt of gratitude for her making it. So, Amber, if you're watching in the abyss, thank you so much for that. And let's see, Shane, welcome in. So I'm going to shut the phone off, and now we can get into it in real time when I can see the comments coming in real time. I love you too. I thought I hurt your hand. Sorry. So XRP right now is up 2.57% on the day. We're sitting over a key pivot point, but underneath the broadening wedge formation that was created in the very short term. Suppose I should just show everybody. So this is what we're sitting at right now. This is what we're dealing with the resistance. It's what we talked about in the updates earlier. If you've watched them, if not, we'll go back over it now. So don't worry. It's not, you don't have to go back and watch them. It's not going to be necessary. You're on the live. But if you'd like to get the intel from earlier so that you can kind of get a different feel at what I was thinking this morning and then going into the afternoon and whatnot. So basically a broadening wedge. You get the expand. So you come into it either from a volatile move up. So on a nice run up or a run down. Hold on, that's my cat wants in. Believe it or not, I have to walk away for 10 seconds to let my cat in. Come on, Ghost. Come on, Ghost. Hi. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Sorry about that. My cat ran outside, and I don't really want it to be outside because it's cold here in Michigan. So, XRP right now with this broadening wedge that it formed, this is just a very short term. It said, the legend says you have to hit 2 hits on resistance, 2 hits on support. So resistance, you start with a support hit, resistance, support, resistance, back to resistance. Right now we're attempting a breakout. This is a bona fide breakout attempt. So if you get out of this broadening wedge, now we don't have any resistance left until we get to the top of this descending triangle, which is right above. Or you can call it a flat, bear flag. It's not important exactly. Let's just say a converging triangle just for the sake of things. But we have to get above this. It's right about 555 now as we continue to come down this downtrending resistance. We've hit it once here. Let me get my drawing tool out real quick. We've hit it once on resistance back here on January 1st, 2nd of this year. Support, so resistance 1, support 1, resistance 2, support 2. So now the question is can we have a breakout, or are we going to confirm this continuation pattern? We haven't confirmed it yet. Right now it's just a little consolidation. If we come up and through, we can just get out of here, and then we can just break up back to the top of the rising channel. This is only formed as a potential that it could consolidate all the way back down to the bottom of the rising channel. It's not even as relevant as the actual overall pattern from June of 2022, which is the rising channel that continues to go up. And if I just pull this out a little bit, you'll be able to see. But that started some time ago where I circled all the way down here. So that's what we've been in. And even when we had the fake news, or not fake news, the court stuff with XRP, when Annalisa Torres came out and said that it was not security when it comes to programmable sales and or retail, but with institutions it still is. That's when we had that spike. Then we had fake news here for the spike up, and that's when the rising channel continued to prove that that's the end all be all, to see if we can have a breakout here. And then if you get past the rising channel, that is when, in my opinion, that's when you start making a run back at a new formation. If you get past the rising channel, then you've only got one date left. And it's not much farther than 66. It's up at about 75.5 cents right now. You've got to get above this formation because that's the all-time pattern. And let me go to my other chart. You know what? I'm going to keep it on this chart. I'm going to keep it on this chart so that all the new members can see maybe the different ways that this sets up, like how we had the breakout initially back in here. But if you're new, I think this is so important because a lot of people give their hopes up because they're like, oh, XRP's been in this consolidation for longer than I can even imagine. It's never going to get out of it, and it's just over. And, you know, that's a lot of what we get. But right now, we started all the way back here. This pattern, remember what I talked about in the opening? This is what I was talking about. January 2018 to all-time highs. Converged for a very long time to come down to right here in March where we finally had the uptrend. And if I go like this, you'll be able to see how it finally starts an uptrend. Then you got to tap it again right here in December of 2020, right when the lawsuit was announced. And then we had our monumental run up when I first started my channel. We bought in at 47 cents and we came all the way up to $1.98, got out at $1.66, and we did not buy back in until right now we have our long bags packed at 34.6 cents on XRP. So, and that was done sometime around last March, I want to say. And then we came back down, consolidated. Now remember, we already had a hit from all-time highs down to 10 cents where this started. Then we had a big volatile spike up here where that pattern resistance held true. And then, even after that volatility, we came crashing down, and it held not only here, but right here was the main hit, down here where it hit, and then it bounced out. So we've held this uptrend all the way through. It's through and through now. So that's the all-time convergence on the pattern. And if it were to break down and it didn't break out, I always tell everybody, all the way down here, forget the January or the June of 2022 support on the rising channel. If you're looking at the all-time uptrend right now, from where we're converging in this, I call it a converging triangle at the end because then it ends speculation of what kind of pattern it is. But if it doesn't break down, this is a bullish consolidation. And the bounce up, I have it at speculation points. These are speculation points. If it were to break from here, immediately you should have a quick volatile swing up. And it's not going to happen in a day or two, but it'll happen over the course of probably a month, maybe two. You'll end up right back at the swing high of 2021. You get on top of that, that would be your catalyst to break up to all-time highs again. That's how close we are in this formation. And think about it, it started in 18. The maximum output in this pattern, and I've talked about it a lot, I don't know why I say 25. It's actually December of this year. So technically, even if this takes until the end, this is at December of this year. So look how close we are to this pattern running out of time. And this pattern's been going since 2016 when the resistance was first formed, and 2020 when the support was formed. So January of 2018 on resistance, March of 2020 on support. So if you're watching right now, please make sure to hit that like button. 68 likes, 99 people watching. I appreciate everybody who's tuning in. But please hit that like button so that we can force YouTube recommendations to recommend this live. And we can get more and more people here to either tell me that I'm accurate or that I might need to look at something again and give me some constructive criticism. I'd love to know what everybody thinks. The more eyes we have on the prize, the better. And the more, not just similar views, but the opposing views as well are welcome, because then maybe we can dig a little bit deeper. So don't be afraid to say something. Don't be afraid to ask a question. We can't leave anything unturned at this time. We're in a momentous time in history right now. And I cannot stress that lightly. We're at a time where we're having a big wealth transfer is what's going to end up happening here. And it's one of those things. Millionaires are not made in bull markets. I don't care what anybody says. They're not made in bull markets. And what I mean by that, if you're buying in the bull market when it's already started, you have to have a lot of money to be able to build millions and millions of dollars. You have to have capital. If you're trying to get from only having a few $1,000s and try to have a special run where it gets to six figures or into millions, you've got to do it in the bear market. You've got to buy when most people are speculating that it's dead. You've got to buy when nobody else wants it. When everybody wants it, it's already too late to start adding all the bags. XRP right now, I'm going to continue to say in the daily, it's volatile to the upside. This is a nice setup here. It's lagging. It can break down, obviously. But right now we're on top of that 20-day where the death cross is at. Now we're hunting. Our first target's 541. Our second target, when we get out of that descending triangle, it's obvious. But we still want to get over this 200-day in the daily to start reversing this pattern. That's why I'll talk 56 cents a lot. Or 57. But once we get out of the descending triangle, we're going to start breaking up in a pretty nice fashion here. And then, you know, the overall pattern, yes, we can use this for the breakout point at 70, or what is this? 60, what is this? Where is this at right now? 60, if it broke out there, but right now it'd be like 70, maybe it is a little higher than 75. No, 75.7. But that's if it were to break out. We've still got the immediate pattern that we're looking at. It's so funny how this happens, though, because when you start to break it down in a more direct way, you start to see like the little formations. So this is the longer one. But then when we start moving on in the charts, look at the other chart. So now it breaks into the little descending triangle we're in within the rising channel, but you at least have it. You know the pivot point at 534 that we're on top of right now, and that's major because whenever we're on the top side of it, we tend to go volatile swing to the top side. When we're below it, for some reason, we tend to drop a good 10-15%. Even if we're holding, and this goes back farther in the patterns too. So that's how we look at it from that perspective. But then if you want to look at it from an even shorter perspective, now that we've gone all the way around the circle here, we've got this broadening wedge that formed, and this is exactly what we want to get past here. This is what we're trying to get past here. And we're right up at the resistance right now. Now the volume, it's not great. I've seen worse. But, you know, it would help to have a little more volume come in the 4-hourly. The daily time frame, it would be beautiful to have a close over 54 cents. Looks like we're a little weak right now in that regard. But ultimately, let's just close higher than the last candle wick up at 5345. And we're above that right now pretty nicely. So, I don't know. We could get back above. I'm looking for a close to try to get back above like 541. I'd be very happy. So, even where it's at now, you're over 534. Bitcoin continues its volatility. So we'll get into Bitcoin for just a second here. Just a second though, because we've got to continue with XRP, but I would love to know. I would love to know what everybody thinks about XRP right now. But Bitcoin's up 154 points or 4.33% on the day. It's at $51,874. Oh, I think I turned comments off. Huh. Look at me. I never turn the comments on. I'm like, wow. I'm just talking and no. Oh my God, I feel so bad. I'm sorry, everybody. Let me go back on my phone. I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking. I just knew something wasn't right. Let me go back though, because I see a YouTube super chat was sent. Wow, really? Bandito, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for, I believe that's the It's either the 5 or 6. So in Tom's Armor 5 or 6 months with the XRP predictor. I really appreciate that. And thank you so much for the $19.99 super chat. He says, okay, people, smash the likes and show some love by giving Tom some cash first time. My God, what is your deal, people? Send some cheese. Hey, I appreciate that sentiment, but like I say, it comes in waves, my friend. I do appreciate it. That's why I always tell everybody, join Tom's Army if you want to pay it forward, or consider once a month to send a YouTube super chat for my time. But honestly, I'm just trying to give info. You know, I don't even think I've talked about any of that today. So I appreciate you sending that real talk. Goose Fraba, welcome in. Raphael, good evening. Tucky Tam, let's assume that we reach 75 cents before halving, and what next? Dump back to 48 cents. That's speculation. We won't know until I know if we break that formation. SK19, I was thinking about buying 100 euros worth now. Is it still a good buy? Well, I'm not a financial advisor, so I can only kind of speculate with you. But I will tell you, in trading with J-Rod and Stanley, welcome in. And thank you both for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the 589 badge, the emoji badge, that everybody can have next to their name if they join Tom's Army. There's many different ones. But if you're buying if you're asking me about XRP, and we'll get into Bitcoin real quickly after. But if you're asking me, should I drop $100 on it or 100 euros right now? Which I know the euro for $1 US, it's worth $1.07. So congratulations to the ones buying and selling in euros. You're worth 7 cents on the dollar more than US. FYI. So let me show you something in the immediate short-term pattern that you will just want to know if you're buying $100 now. And there's nothing wrong with buying it now. It's just right now, the fact you want to buy $100 now is interesting. Interesting. You know why? Because we were just down at the bottom of the short-term broadening wedge at 514. And the bottom line is we just went up 5.2% to the top of this broadening wedge. If it needs more consolidation, the next hit is going to see you about a 6% decline. Oh, pounds. I don't know why I keep why pounds, the pounds. But if you're going to put in, you know, you have to be aware that it could drop 6.1% if we don't break out of this broadening wedge. That's just a harsh reality. This is, like Tanya said, this is a love-hate relationship with XRP. But you got to love it more than you hate it. But I don't hate XRP at all because I understand the grand plan. And I don't mind the slow game. In fact, you know, when I struggle is when I have to sell. I don't mind building in it. I actually like the accumulation phase, how we did it together and started building. But if I'm looking at this SK for your pounds, the 100 pounds, I would make sure that it's at 541 at least so that we get above that. But just be aware, our biggest bounce out of this won't come until we break this descending triangle or this however you want to phrase this, until we get above that basically 555 level. That's when it starts opening up the door to the push up to the rising channel. At no point is a bad buy. If you buy 100 or 100 pounds here, when XRP and my, you know, where it's at for me, at 54 cents approximately, when it goes down 20%, just between you and I, you have to have 100 pounds if that's your goal. You got to have another 100 pounds every 20% down. Or not 100 pounds. You need to have 20 pounds because you'll buy 20% more every 20% down until it gets down to the desired level. And like I always tell everybody, as long as we're doing this in the right area, or you buy it in the right area where you're comfortable, you shouldn't have a problem being able to continue to buy in that proportion so that if you do miss it by 4 or 5 times, you know, at 20% each, you can at least cover it so your average is coming down each and every 20% with adding 20% more stake until you ultimately get to that 100%. And then if you don't have if it continues to go down after the 5 buys, you know, that's where you have to have a conversation with yourself where the reality of what's going on is. So that's the way I approach it. But getting back to Bitcoin, 51,866, another fantastic day. It looks like, to me, it wants to come up here. This is the top of the broadening wedge resistance, and that looks like a bull flag to me. And with what's been going on, you know, until you come out of that relative strength with the resistance, being overbought, you stay volatile. Like I always tell everybody, yes, it looks like it needs to come down in the relative strength, but until it comes out of that area and it continues to be able to put buying pressure with institutions in there when it's even in the overbought, that's where you buy and you run. And we're running right now. Bitcoin's getting very close. Like, I mean, it's so shocking to say this, but the last time we were at 50,000 was what, 2 years ago? So Bitcoin's getting to a moment where XRP is going to get all the added benefits that it needs to have some kind of momentous move here. And I think it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. Imagine if Bitcoin, when it does make its utility run, let's call it to 90,000, XRPs and a lot of altcoins are going to go under the radar. Everybody is going to be talking about Bitcoin. And then one day someone's going to look and be like, oh, I can buy XRP for $2-3. And this is where it gets dangerous with how much potential revenue can come in for us. Imagine once it becomes the speculator's coin now with XRP, when Bitcoin is up at those levels, and now people are like, okay, I don't want to buy Bitcoin at 80, 90,000, but now we got these tokens down here, the altcoins. Well, XRP is going to be somewhere. By then, we don't know the explosion, but let's just say it's at $253. People are going to start buying that at $3 instead of putting $90,000 Bitcoin. They want to own the whole thing, so they're going to end up buying stuff like XRP, especially with all the stuff that goes around on YouTube, especially all the stuff that goes through the speculators on social media. It's a very hot topic, and one of the cool things about having your money in a speculator's token like XRP, and I call it speculators not because it doesn't have a proven track record, but because a lot of people will speculate on its future. And you need that buzz. So just like with Dogecoin, with Elon Musk, XRP has a huge fan base, and with just the right tweet or the right news, the market can be pushed in a fantastic way just because of the influence of the people. With Bitcoin, we're looking at this move up to 53,000 to see how we stand, like 53,298. If it pushes past that, you got a clear road to 55. I'm just going to say it like that. And then we'll visit that as it goes. But once you break that broadening wedge to the top side, the breakout potential on that, it just becomes new levels. And those are when I'm really going to get excited. XRP, we've talked about once it got clear of 20, I'm not going to say we've talked about because there's a lot of new members. So with XRP, you need to know 28.792 billion was a huge pivot zone for the market cap. We've only got one more zone that we have to get past, and that's at 30.1 billion. So we'll just call it 30 billion area. And then you can retest this broken structure. You can see what's building, in my opinion. It's starting to build, and you can see the broadening wedge in there, just like with the price action we talked about on the... That's a broadening wedge right there that's forming, or actually formed. You've got it on both sides, and it's... And then it should shoot up. This looks like it wants to shoot up. But I can see what's starting to form. We got ba-boom, ba-boom. You can even say ba-boom. This looks like it wants to have a huge rally. And even if it just retests in the market cap, the initial rally, let's just say we're bouncing from here. To come up here, to meet up here, it's about 8.5%, 9%, just to get up there. So even if we get rejected, you're going to see a volatile swing. I just know at some point here, we're going to watch this and we're going to be like, whoa, we're up 20% or 30% real quick. Real quick. So, I'm very excited where we're at right now. I haven't felt this way in a very long time with XRP. It's been a very long time since I had this kind of feeling that we're on the verge of something. And it's exciting. It's very exciting. Another thing we have to consider, and we're going to pay attention to the charts, we got to kill 6 minutes. So if you're new, I like to go over some news and stuff before 7, just so we can get into the daily close. Today's going very nice. I think we're having a nice back and forth with the audience as well. At least I am able to have a back and forth. If you have questions, don't hesitate. If I'm being honest, I must say I'm sweating bullets. A week ago, I sold all of my ETA and Folium on XRP. So XRP price could surge from new acquisition amid community skepticism. So So if you didn't hear this, so on a development that may become the key catalyst in driving the price of XRP to new heights, so let me read this first. Recently, Ripple, and this was yesterday, announced the acquisition of, and look in the video description or in my past videos if you want to see some deeper content than just this on this very topic. The acquisition of Standard Custody and Trust Company, a digital asset acquisition. The company aims to expand into different sectors beyond its core payments network business. So as we're looking at our charts, and we're going to go back to it in less than 5 minutes, we're just trying to get some news here so everybody can get caught up to know why we could have these potential breakouts, not just hindering on Bitcoin, but also in the, not just adoption, but the added, let's just say how they're adding, let me just read this, but they're making a footprint now in the USA even deeper. And this is a very nice acquisition. So the acquisition of Standard Custody signals Ripple's commitment to serving its customers and fostering growth and security in the Ripple ecosystem. By implementing a digital asset custodian, Ripple can provide secure storage and management of digital assets like XRP. Additionally, a cryptocurrency custodian can potentially boost confidence in investors and financial institutions. This increased trust may attract substantial institutional investors in the XRP ecosystem, potentially driving up demand and triggering a price increase for XRP. According to CoinMarketCap, XRP is priced at 50 cents, reflecting a 0.9% decrease in the last 24 hours. However, we know it's come up now since the last 24. We're back up to 54 almost. That was just the retest it had. Despite, and this is the chart when it was having the retest, but now we know it's come back up. This was at 532. It's back up around 54 cents right now. Despite bullish market trends, the cryptocurrency has lingered around the 50-cent price for months, leading to a shift in investor sentiment, which is exactly what we want, and confidence. We want investor sentiment and confidence to be at all-time lows. You want everybody to think there's no chance, there's no reason, I'm selling out, I've had enough. Right when everybody's just had enough and gets out, that's right when it goes, and that's where we're at right now. Have a lot of faith in what you own. And don't be pushed out, and don't miss a wealth transfer that can take you from one sector of society to the next because of fear. That's what they try to do. They get you in fear. So community have also accused the cryptocurrency of being purposely suppressed. And today, something else that's Thursday, that Ripple Labs we talked about earlier. If you want to see that, look at my earlier update. Ripple Labs, 28 million XRP we discovered that they transferred. So that's another interesting thing. So in light of this, Ripple's strategic acquisition has the potential to act as a catalyst, boosting the price of XRP. The digital asset custodian could introduce an element of stability to the XRP ecosystem, addressing regulatory uncertainties plaguing the ecosystem. Consequently, this might be positively influence the general perception of XRP, attracting favorable sentiments and institutional investors and potentially contributing to an upward price movement. That's what I was excited about this news, was the institutional money possibility with the institutional investors. Some things just bring more clout than others, and this is something that's going to have massive impacts on institutions with the investing perspective. So, XRP community divided as doubts emerge. Despite Ripple's latest announcement and the potential positive impacts the acquisition may have on the ecosystem, the XRP community has remained in doubt, continually voicing out concerns over the depressed state of the cryptocurrency. And if you're tuning in, please make sure to hit that like button. We're doing a fantastic job. 105 likes, 123 people watching. The more people that hit that like button, the farther the YouTube will recommend this content. It is so, so important, and the more likelihood that someone's going to stay if they see so many have hit that like button. But fantastic, everybody. I mean, I can't thank you enough. So have the ecosystem of the XRP community has remained in doubt, continuously voicing out concerns over the depressed state of the cryptocurrency. Responding to Ripple Chief Executive Officer CEO Brad Garlinghouse's statement about the company's plans to acquire standard custody on XRP supporter and investor, identified as Mac Attack XRP on X, formerly Twitter, expressed skepticism, stating that Ripple's recent developments were insufficient to generate a positive impact on XRP's price. Mac revealed that the price of XRP has been structurally too low for the past 5 years. He mentioned a notable shift in perspectives among XRP community. I don't care about that. So anyhow, I just wanted to share that news. Perspectives are perspectives, right? I just showed you the perspective of the reason why the price is in that same consolidation. We're in a consolidation that started with the resistance in January of 2018 until you came to support in March of 2020. Now you're converging. 350 to 10 cents to 198 to 29 or 28 cents. It's converging. So the converging triangle, as I like to call it. So XRP right now, we had a daily close right around the 5378 mark, roughly, we'll call it. So we closed over the 534 pivot point, but we failed to break over the short-term broadening wedge that was put in here. The likelihood that's going to happen here, whoops, let me put that back up there. But the likelihood that's going to happen here is that, let me put this back just so everybody can see it. So that if you're new and you don't understand, and it played this perfectly, this resistance now. So basically XRP right now, we've had a golden cross here, which is nice in the 3 hourly. It's a beautiful sign. The fact that it didn't come above here, if we need to get a little more consolidation, we could get a quick drop to 53. And then we'll try again. Unless we hold the 200-day. If we hold 534, this is void. You don't have to worry about this next touch if it does that. If we hold 534, we should consolidate enough and then eventually break past that resistance and then start pushing out to the top of that descending triangle at 55.5 cents. If we don't get past here and we have to come back below the 200, just know we're going to retest around 53 cent area. So this resistance up here, yeah, it's about, depending on where we hit it again, right around 543. So I'd say let's get over 544 just to be safe. Then the next resistance is going to be up at 555, so 55.5 cents for anybody who's just coming in. And that's this descending formation. And that's what we're actually in since the beginning of the year. We've been in this since January of 24. The rising channel, which is the outward part of this pattern, has been going on since June of 2022. True, welcome in, homie. I appreciate you tuning in as always. Long-time viewer there, very long-time viewer. Someone did dump. We're going to take a look at the shorter time frame. But this is where we have to get above. It's right around, I call it 55.5, but it's like 554. But 55.5 is where I like it. So if we look at the 1 minute, someone's saying someone dumped. It's not necessarily that somebody necessarily dumped, but we did have a little bit of price volatility here. We had 370,000 on Binance. So Binance is stabilizing and coming back up now, it looks like, in the 1 minute. But like I said, if we don't hold the 200-day and the 4 hourly, that tells us we need to come back down to 53 cents and try to get a little more pressure and then start pushing out again. I mean, we're so stuck in this little formation right now that's what Genesis dumped 25,000 Bitcoin. Is that what happened? Big action coming very soon. 24 million in 1 minute. Ooh. Excellent. Excellent. Or better yet, are okay to dump. Yeah. No, it's okay. The consolidation's fine. Like I said, this pattern, we are close. We are close, but we can't fool ourselves into thinking we're going to get somewhere potentially quicker than it has to. Remember, this pattern's been converging since January of 2018, and the formation technically doesn't end. And we'll go over this again. It doesn't end. And we'll play this all the way out here until, let me put it in the daily. Not the weekly, the daily. It technically doesn't have to end until it converges right here in December of 2024. So we still technically could have about 6 months. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. 8 folks haven't smashed the like button. No, there's the ones in here, yes, but I know there's been more coming in and out. But right now there's, yes, definitely 7 people that are sitting in here right now that could definitely hit the like button at the very least. So you're right about that, but I think we're doing a tremendous job in here. This community, and if you want to join me with cannabis, I don't like calling it anything else because I don't look at it as a drug. It saved me. I broke my back when I was 23 in a bad car accident. I shouldn't even be here or walking. Wasn't my fault, but I digress. So it took many years to get back to the walking state, and so be it. But they had me on every pill you could imagine. And one day I said, enough of this. I was like 26, 27. And I started smoking well, I was like 24 when I started smoking. And that just changed it all. 25. So it was a couple years, so like 25. So if you ever see this, I don't smoke cigarettes, FYI. This is what you're seeing. Wish I could smoke in Japan and they wonder why this. Oh, I know. Real talk. Oh, I see a $10 donation there. Wow, really? Unbelievable. Thank you so much for that pay it forward mentality, my friend. I'll see who that is once somebody else comments. But that's what we have to be honest with ourselves for, ladies and gentlemen. That this could technically take until, we get down here. December 24. Michael Butler, you are welcome, my friend. And thank you so much for that $10 donation. It truly does help my content go. And if you are watching my content and you want to do something nice, once a month is all I ask. Send a YouTube super chat or consider joining Tom's Army for the $9.99 a month to help pay it forward. I'd love to see more members in the chat part of Tom's Army, but if not, that's okay. That's okay. Because we're having an active discussion and you're all helping me push my content by just hitting that like button and helping YouTube recommend more people to come here. But there's a lot more than what goes on that meets the eye when it comes to this community. So XLM, because we do have the 3 X's that we're very profound in. XLM, if we can have the bounce out, and it does play this right, you could get a bounce all the way back up to the top of the formation. It's very, very clear that if this doesn't break down to 8 cents, it wants to make a move back up to about 12.5 cents, back up to the top of the formation. It's all but setting this up. It's trying to with this volatility, with this. It's just like with XRP. It put in that exact same. Actually, it's trying to break out right now, but it's still on that upper resistance line. So just like XRP, it hasn't come through it yet, but XLM is absolutely trying to come through this right now. Something like that with XLM. Something like that. And then it came through pretty volatilely, just like XRP. And it leads me to believe that they're just on these kind of formations that we're trying to get out of. So I want to see how this plays out with XLM. So just watch this. We have this major level right here we're coming up to. Major level. And as long as we can hold the 200-day here in the 4-hourly at 11.37, we should be okay here. We should be okay. What does everybody think about in the immediate short term? Do we think we're going to end up breaking up and out, or do we think we're consolidating back down? That's what I want to know from the audience. Copper, Oregon, dope for days. Excellent. Jacob, welcome in. DGB real quick, and I'm going to fly back to XRP. I'm going to do this very quickly with DGB, XDC, HBAR, and back up to XRP. All these assets we own as a community, and we bought them on FOMO Fridays and Winning Wednesdays for the most part together. And it took a series of months to do all of this. We were buying everything when it was at its own technical lows. So DGB right now is in this setup. We're at a pivot point right now at 844. We have a golden cross in the 3-hour or 4-hourly that we're bouncing off of. We need to get past this pivot point, and then we're clear. We're going to come up to that downtrending resistance at 00924. So watch this for DGB. I love DGB. It's in the Internet of Things. Massive W reversal. And it built its little arm out with the volatility with that broadening. Every single pattern that I can see for the most part is putting in these very nice recovery phases. Look at that V shape. Nice recovery. And now it's trying to bounce out here. And then with XDC, it's up barely at all. It's at 4.4 cents. If you're wondering, we bought this at 2.8 cents in this bear market. We bought DGB at 0.05 and some change, and we bought XRP at 3.46. XLM we talked about, we bought at 0.85, so 8.5 cents. So we're in good spots here with all of our cryptos. With XDC, we're still working on this volatile formation. It is cool though now that we can cut this pattern off a little bit, and I love when we're able to do this. So now until it proves otherwise, this is your new setup. That's your new floor. So right now we're creating a new floor until we see otherwise. So it's cool that it's at least done that with XDC. And now if we get over resistance up here, we're working our way up to 453 to see if we're bullish or bearish right now. So expect that move here. And now at least if you bought XDC, you've now at least for the time being have put in a floor here where that wick came in. And now instead of having to worry about it coming all the way back down to 3.5, now really if you buy in, you have to worry about that move to 417 unless that breaks. So it's nice to be able to update these on the fly. And then H-bar is another one that we've done fantastic on. This is the first one we started on Winning Wednesdays because of Tanya. The first purchase we made, and we only did $50 a week until we got to 10,000 tokens. Took us 10 weeks. We bought it starting at 5.2 cents all the way down to about 4.1 cents. And then back up to around the 5.2 cents. So whatever our average is in between there, I'll let anybody speculate. But we went anywhere from 5.2 to 4.2 and back up to 5.2. So it was a beautiful time to buy it. And now we're just reaping the rewards and seeing how much farther we can go. The pivot point that it's trying to get past 8.215. And then if H-bar can get over 8.74, we've got some big movement coming. H-bar, as we know, just like with H-bar and algo, are both, where is this? Are both, H-bar and algo also flare all in cup and handles. So that's where we're looking for the maximum move here for H-bar. If it breaks out of this, to add some volatility. So I thank the great falling for sending me this. So that's what we're looking at for the potential with H-bar. So just consider, and in a little bit, if we still have activity, we'll go back through it. But I'm here for XRP, so I want to make sure that we cover XRP. So back to XRP. So XRP right now is at 5398. And we're really waiting to see for this volatile candle. We need a candle here. We need one big surge here. If we do come below the 200-day and the 4-hourly, it's not a bad thing. Just understand, after I leave you guys today, or after you're not watching me and you're looking at this on your own time, maybe tonight, maybe early AM, and you're like, well, what's going on? If we hold this 200-day level, and we have to hold the pivot point, so just call it 534. As long as we hold 534, we'll have the pressure and we'll continue to build up and we'll retest this even if we're bearish. But if we come below 534, you have to make sure where this golden cross was at, that we hold this 200-day at around 528, and then we continue up. Otherwise, it could always come back down to the broadening wedge until it's broken to the top or the bottom side. So, and remember, this pattern, even though we're close, and it's been going for a long time, this pattern technically doesn't end and reach its crescendo point until December of 2024, which now it doesn't sound as bad. When I used to say it in 21 after we sold out, everybody, I felt like I was going to be lynched. But now, it's almost like it's so close that it seems like a dream. Like, wow, we've really done this for almost 3 years. We've been doing this since March of 2021 together. March 30th, 31st, or March 28th, I think, will be our 3 years on YouTube, or my 3 years. So we've been watching this. We have a lot of history in this. We have a lot of data that's built into my own database on YouTube just by having every single update here, which is over 4,300 videos I put out on YouTube in that time, or 4,400 videos in 3 years. Not even. And the community, we put in our due diligence with XRP. That's why I continue to say, don't get rid of it right before we hit that moment. There's going to come a day, and I was talking like this in 2021. We're going to wake up one day and we're going to say, oh my God. My God. My $3,500 investment to get 10,000 XRP is worth $100,000. Even if when it's worth 100, when it's worth 10 grand, when it's worth 20 grand, I'm just saying that joy that comes over you of turning in 35, or let's say you have 10,000, but for this case, the joy that will come over you from seeing 3,500 turn into 15, 20,000 and seemingly overnight, because when you're at work and you're on your salary or money, even if you're making $30, $40, $50 an hour, to roll over $20,000, $30,000 on a screen in front of you that quickly, even if it takes 2 months. It's what happens in bull markets, and not even bull markets. XRP never hit a bull market in 21, and you've seen how massive it was. And everybody says in 24 it's the lawsuit. We're farther along in the lawsuit now than when it was put into place, and we still had that run. XRP still went up, and this isn't a joke. It went up 19 times after the lawsuit was announced. It was at just about 10 cents, and it went up to almost $2. So somebody bought, let's say they bought $1,000 worth of XRP at 10 cents. They sold it for 20 grand. Or if they sold it with us 16,600, they netted 15,600. And now they could have did it again at anywhere from 29 to 40 cents, and I would have said they were a dog. They made an excellent buy, and a dog's a good thing. It's a very good thing. You understand at a more minute level at that point. You're not afraid to get dirty. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm thinking. And that's what my heart feels. I really can feel this transcending here. I told everybody the moment I would get excited is when everybody said, you know what, this is shit. Sorry, I apologize. I'm working on my swearing, as I think I've done a good job, but I have to do better. But we're at a transcending moment. But let's look, because some people like to look at the technicals as far as the Fibonacci and stuff. So we'll go through this very quickly. So right now we've had a day's range since the close at 53798 up to 53994. We've had a 52-week range between 34.8 cents, which if you look at the 52-week range, ladies and gentlemen, we nailed it. Our buy-in's 346. Put that in perspective. That means you've held this for longer, more than likely, than the 52 weeks. So we're outside of a year now. That's good news. So, oh, wait a minute. That's on this exchange. That's on this site. So, yeah, we were in this 52-week range. But on this particular exchange, it was 348. I forgot. Mine wasn't this exchange. As some of you know. So, yeah, but 348. So, look at where you bought it at the range. Bottom of the range. So 1 week we're up 5.06%. 1 month we're down 6.37%. 3 months we're down 11.84%. 6 months on XRP we're up 6.57%. Year to date we're down 12.37%. And over the last year we're up 41.29%. So year over year, instead of leaving our money in the bank and getting devalued, at least it's up 41.29% if you bought it in the appropriate spot. The technical indicators are saying neutral, but if you break it down into a more minute level, that's in the daily because nothing's happened yet. The daily just flipped. If you look at the oscillators in the 4 hourly, which is what we'll look at right now, 8 neutral, 2 buy, 1 sell. A great flip from where it was at just a few short weeks ago, as most of you know. On the moving averages, 1 sell, 13 buys, 1 neutral. Completely flips 2 weeks ago when it was the complete opposite on strong sell. And the summary is 2 sell, 9 neutral, and 15 buys. The only other thing I look at here is for everybody to see the Fibonacci because I don't use it. I have my own moving averages, so that's not a problem. But the Fibonacci right now in the 4 hourly, we've got right now, resistance 1 is 535, right on the money. That's right on the pivot point money. Resistance 2, 544. Also a beautiful spot because that's coming out of the broadening wedges we've talked about. And resistance 3 is at 559. Beautiful resistance level. Again, that's right above the descending triangle. So, perfect spot. Support 1 would be 5047. I like that. Support 2 is 495. And support 3 is 48 cents. Those are right on the money, within a few fractions of a penny. And then the pivot point is at 519, which is beautiful because I have it right at 518. So, not going to get any argument from me here. So, it's a beautiful way to look at that with the pivot levels. And then, if you want to take it a step farther, as XRP starts to go through its consolidation here today, and it's been a beautiful 54 minutes. Just beautiful. Can I ask a personal question out of anybody who's religious? And don't forget to give thanks to his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ here on this most holy of days, as we started Ash Wednesday today. Can I ask what anybody's given up for Ash Wednesday as XRP's back to the 54-cent level, my brothers and sisters, or at least it was for a second. I've given up confrontation this year. Might sound strange, but for anybody who knows me, Bitcoin right now, ladies and gentlemen, up to 52,000 here live on air. Bitcoin reaches another threshold, pushes 52K. Whoo, buddy. This is absolutely spectacular to be able to watch this with each and every one of you. It's incredible. Let's see how far Bitcoin pushes here. Let's get this in the minute. This is a beautiful rocketing start here. Okay, good. The comments are still working. What did Bob give up? Well, CJ2 Pilot, I didn't give up, but sometimes you got to take a back seat and let everything get back to normal. That's true, Bob. Bob's the every man and woman, but he's gone into his own, Bob's made he has his own, what he's given up for Ash Wednesday. He's going to try to stay silent for a couple. No. In all seriousness, look at Bitcoin in the 1 minute. If Bitcoin extends out here, we're going to be looking at that broadening wedge very quickly here. Oh, my goodness. That is beautiful. Remember when I said the shorts were going to lose their shirts and shorts? Oh, they've lost their shirts and shorts, haven't they, ladies and gentlemen? We kept preaching in the community that short is not the place to be. 6.5 months, if you're new to this community, 6.5 months ago, I got laughed stage right and left. Because I said Bitcoin had bottomed. Maybe it's a little longer than that now. Because Jerome Powell and the Fed came out and said that we're no longer going to be tightening, which means quantitative easing, which means absorbing amounts of money into you-know-what. Things like Bitcoin. At the same time, the Fed said that they are now exempt through a new restriction, that they don't have to pay taxes on sales in the stock market or crypto, which, okay. But when you play by their rules, you understand what's coming. So we got in, and we are very happy. Very happy. My $7,000 right now is definitely, it's doing pretty good. The portfolio count right now, before I even came on, was around 12,500, and we're in the heart of the bottom of the bear market right now. And to think that the portfolio's within a few $1,000s right now of where I sold out in 2021, I don't know how to even express it. But this is how you build a portfolio in the bear market. And you go from overnight being a small player to a very big player in a much smaller pond. Not very many people can do what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen, in a bear market and stay upright. And not just upright, be profitable month over month. But not just profitable, be able to put into an investment. I don't care about selling it. I don't have an exit plan. I know what I want to do, and I know what we're going to have happen. Look at Bitcoin right now. It's true, like Hamza says. He doesn't have time for BS. That's why he comes here and watches Tom. That's the truth. I just tell you what I think is going to happen. And my promise to each of you is I'm trying to give up confrontation and me doing that. Look at XRP, folks. Look what's going to happen here. Yeah, I don't drink pop much at all. I gave that up a long time ago. I'm pretty much a water guy. Julie laughs at me, but I literally drink water. My guilty pleasure is buying expensive water at times. And some people are like, that's not even bad. It's like, it's not about being bad. But let's see if this has staying power here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if XRP can ride this wave. We've been waiting for this for a long time. We talk about Bitcoin and a lot of people want to leave, but you know, that's okay. Whoops. Did I just pause that on accident? I am so sorry. Hopefully that didn't mess anything up. But XRP right now, folks, we're teasing a breakout here. 5-minute W reversal. In the next few minutes here, I'm not going nowhere. We should be able to possibly break out of this first resistance line. Tom, I'm just getting back to work, but I'll be in the Army soon. Only when it's doable. Right now, I'm just proud of you for being able to get back to work. You worry about that. Don't worry about Tom's Army. We will stay afloat until you come back aboard, but we can't force you back on board before you're ready. You know, you got to have the means first. We're getting you there. We'll get you there. I'm very proud of you, though, for getting a new job and pushing it forward. Give up lots this year, caffeinated coffee, cigs, herbage, though I will treat myself to that every now and then. Sweet treats, food with lots of sodium, lots of healthy food. Ooh, I like that. I like that. I started my Lent early last year. I started fasting 9 months ago, now 16 hours a day. So I don't eat 16 hours a day, and that's something I'm giving to the Lord now. I plan on doing that the rest of my life. I only eat between 1 and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If I start a little bit later, I'll eat 8 hours. So whenever I eat my first meal, it's never before 1. Well, no, that's not true because ever since the clock flipped back, now it's around 12. But I pushed it back. It took time to get it back to 1 because our clocks flipped an hour back. And then with fasting, that makes it a little difficult. So I've been doing that for a pretty long time. But now I'm trying to get rid of confrontation. It's such a big deal for me, confrontation. So I'm giving up confrontation. Along with fasting for that I'm not doing. I'm only eating 1 meal going forward as well. As you know, I'm giving up 16 hours. You know, in an 8-hour window is what I eat. So that's what I've been doing for 10 months now. But I'm glad to see some of the audience is giving some stuff up. I don't know if any of you read the Black Book, but make sure you're reading that for 6. You do that, and then you do your little prayer for 6 minutes. Cleanse your soul. It's not about pushing religion. It's about we're speaking our peace. Mike Stevenson is in Tom's Army. He's in Tom's Army for month 1, and I know that because he's got the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. What a guy this guy is. And then he also sends $20 and says, "Great job, Tom." Like $20 of his hard-earned money. So thank you so much for that. Like, and we've done nothing yet. Like, and the gratitude this community is showing me it's tremendous. Not just in dollar amounts. I'm talking about the fact we have over 20,000 people here as well. The one thing I'm going to say right now with XRP is it's got to get a momentous push here because it's starting to form that pesky, we don't want to say it, but if we continue doing this nonsense any longer, what are we going to form here? We're going to start forming a naughty channel. XRP is garbage. You know, the garbage men do make a lot of money, so being garbage or not, one man's garbage is another man's treasure. Your trash is my treasure. So isn't that funny how that works? But you have the right to that opinion, and many do. Many have that exact opinion. They don't call it rags to riches for no reason, brother. Remember that? That's the pesky thing we're forming here. Now, we're going to want to have a big push. We're missing out again. Perspectives. But XRP is one piece of the puzzle, but it's the big piece of the puzzle. You don't put all your eggs in one basket, though. But yeah, I know. You know, accordingly. So anyhow, this rising channel. So if we don't hit this resistance and break through, does giving up a cheating wife count? I'd say that's the ultimate testament right there. You have to have the faithfulness of your partner. That's A1. So I respect that. I respect that. You're getting rid of sin one way or the other, right? That's rough though. Hopefully you find your inner peace. Obviously it sounds like you're starting to wake up to what you want to do now here. But that's rough, brother. And hopefully through your own faithfulness you'll find somebody who truly deserves you. That's the best way I'll put it. But look at this W that's forming here. This could break us out of this little... See, now we've formed... This is the crazy thing. You see how patterns evolve? You see how they evolve? It's so cool. So we'll watch and see how this plays out here. We'll watch and see how this plays out here. But we're just trying to come up to the top of this little broadening wedge in the shorter time. But we're coming to a moment here. So we'll see if we can continue to push. With Bitcoin now over 52,000, if it continues to go hot here, telling you, a lot of people are going to be caught off by XRP. You see we're getting a little heckling in the audience, which I love it. You know why? Because they're bringing that attention that I want. You're bringing the attention of the other side that we speak of often in here. The side that ridicules, the side that has no faith in XRP, the side that thinks it's all a joke and that they're all manipulating it down and it's never going to go anywhere. You're going to be one of those that's in the shock and awe. And that's good because we need to see that side of a community. It's not all glory, ladies and gentlemen, when you're trading crypto, and especially when you're trading XRP. Just like in 21, when everybody started crying once it went up, you should see the looks on their face with what comes in the future. You know, so be true to yourself. You got to be true to yourself. What is this? Christopher. Holy moly. Really? $50. Christopher sends his first YouTube super chat, says, God bless you, Tom, and sends $50. Wow, that is certainly a blessing in disguise. Thank you so much for that, sending your hard-earned money. That's amazing. Ooh, I love that energy. Remember how I used to feed into the energy? Now I eat it up. I eat it up. Huge gains? No, my friend. MG. I'm doing just what I needed to do, my brother. XRP's done well for me. It's turned me in from a mere $3,500 investment in 21 that's now resulted in well over 10, 12,000 that I was able to put into precious metals through those gains, and through a reinvestment after selling out back then and waiting to buy back in 23, I was able to turn my one XRP investment into 12 different other investments of the IoT and ISO, plus all those precious metals. So like I said, one man's garbage is another man's treasure. If it's garbage to you, it's because you can't understand how to trade XRP, or that's just what you believe, which is fine. And I respect that. And like I said, you're the other side. So it's beautiful because we talk about this. So what better way is there to do a demonstration, or to, not a demonstration, but to see an example in real time? This is why in certain job fields you have to go in for, let's just say, you have to do the unpaid training, like you're an unpaid intern, so that you can see the ins and outs of the job. If you want to be a YouTuber, this is the big ins and outs of the job. Until you can get this part of it down, your audience will never grow. The moment you can deal with the hecklers, the moment you can deal with yourself true to true. So, because you know what I found? The heckler brings out the worst part in you. Because if you're not confident in what you do, you try to defend what you do. So trust the process, like somebody said. Who said that? But yeah, we like the prospects here. If you know what your X means, or if you know what that X means, you hold your XRP. You sure do, Jeff. And not just that. Oh, and Christopher was very generous. That's a monster donation of $50. That's unbelievable. Christopher embodies what I always say. And you know, it's a hard motto, but sometimes I just say it because I always say, if you like my work and you support it, one donation a month, or just join Tom's Army for $9.99 a month, and it goes a long way. This audience, you know, there's ups and downs, but some days, you know, I think we're getting it right. In these last 7-8 days, I really think I was honest with the audience, and I said I need to do a better job. Was anybody here 7-8 days ago when I made that confession to everybody and I said I need to do a better job? I'm watching my updates and I think we've gone stale. I think the lives aren't hitting home. I just need to be real with myself. I need to change it. So the last 7-8 days, I've expanded not just my delivery, but the length of time in my updates, the amount of information. Does anybody like the direction? I can tell with the analytics that it's changing a lot. Just to put it in perspective, my video earlier, because of all the likes and comments, at one time it had 600 views. It went up to over 2,600 views in like 2 hours later because it was recommended by YouTube at over 22. It was up to 1,600 recommendation views. So that's because of the audience. CJ2 Pilot says, I like it, Tom. You're staying calm without JW pulling on the leash. Yes, CJ2 Pilot, and this is when I'm at my most dangerous. It always has been in my life. Matt says, I was here. Excellent. Mike says, trust the process, first said publicly by 76ers guard Tony Roten in 2017. Trust the process. I love it. You actually put a timestamp on who was saying it. Excellent. Excellent. Cleo said, I'm hanging. Oh, I got to get my phone out because I'm not missing comments. Everything came in so fast. So you guys know I'll just get my phone out. And I think I'm a unique YouTuber because I like to really talk to my audience. And I like to read all comments. And if it takes time, I apologize. But look at Bitcoin. You know how many comments I had this morning about when Bitcoin was at 50,400 that it's about to reverse and everything's done? Now I'm telling you, the shorts are going to eat their shorts. They're not even going to be able to because they're going to be gone. They're going to be liquidated. They're going to be taken away by the repo man. Like, if we can't see where we're at right now with what's coming. Remember when I said it was a sell the news event with the crypto, with Bitcoin being the ETF, but only to get the liquidity and then it was just going to go right back up? This is exactly what happened. It was the easiest. That might have been one of the easiest things that I've ever seen on the charts because it was just too perfect how they were buying into it. Because it shouldn't have been buying into it. We should have been steadily going, but the way it was flowing in, that was retail getting very excited. And they set a trap. And institutions ended up shorting that for the day of, just so they could end up returning those shorts and end up buying it, what was it, $4,000 or $5,000 per Bitcoin down. And now they made that quick profit right now. So as an institution, now you've got leverage and you've got a little bit of ability and room in between. It's a disgusting and very cynical and manipulative thing crypto is. But man, we understand it now. And we are so far ahead of this damn game. I don't know how to explain it. We are so far ahead. And I was begging everybody in 21, let's just do this together. Trust me. In 24, it's like, Tom, we trust you. You don't have to tell us anymore, but when the hell is it going to happen? That we don't know, but we have to trust the process. That's why I keep saying it's the accumulation phase, but damn, Bitcoin's at 52,500 now. Like, you know, it's, how would you feel right now? The biggest thing that you have to ask, wow, is that another donation? Let me get caught up here so I can get in real time. Then I'll ask you guys the biggest question. So, Jeff Regan, thank you so much for the $13.33 donation. You are so generous. There's been more donations tonight than there's probably been the whole month of January. I am not even going to lie. It's been a fantastic evening of generosity from this audience. Michael says, I come here for the truth. I appreciate that greatly. Marco says, I heard you. Matt says, I like the direction. Marco says it also looks like the 15 is holding. Cleo says, I'm hanging on to my garbage and buying me everything I need. Yes, sir. And then Mike, this is what I wanted to finish. He said, trust the process. Mike Driven, thank you for sharing this and taking the time to write it. Trust the process. First said publicly by 76ers guard Tony Roten in 2015. Trust the process became the unofficial motto of the Hinkie-led Sixers. Ooh. Interesting. UK Phil said, you did a great job. I have learned a lot watching your tech. I appreciate that, my technical analysis. Thank you so much. We'll take a look at Algo as well. It's in a cup and handle right now. It built the handle. And I'll share as well the great following chart because he did a tremendous job here. Mike Stevenson said, I think you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you for that, Mike. And thanks for being in Tom's Army in month one. I noticed you're a new member in Tom's Army with the Tom's Army emoji badge. It's the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. So I appreciate that. And my face is superimposed down there. I kid you not. Sky Sighting says your format is perfect. I wouldn't change a thing, Tom. I wouldn't change anything now. I just had to get to this point. Now I actually really appreciate the way I do it. And now I just have to stay true to it and stay calm. Like I did with the heckler today, see? We turn it into a positive. Sky sightings, your format. Oh, here, I already said that. We like you more when XRP hits one. You know who else likes it more? My hair. You know, my hair's getting pretty long, folks. I said I wouldn't cut it until it hits $1 if you're new. And this was back in July when I broke some bones in my hands and stuff, as you know. And my goatee's getting long too, so. But Julie's down for it. Julie's down for it. Although I don't even know if I'll ever cut my hair. We'll see. XRP's got to get the all-time highs at some point. I think it would be cool if I didn't cut it until then. Nexus says short XRP. Oof, be careful. Just make sure that you are watching these levels carefully because Bitcoin at some point is going to correct. So there's going to be an opportunity somewhere. Did we get caught up yet? You don't know. Oh. Some people are talking to MG. All right, we'll just let that play out. Mike Drive says you're welcome, and thank you, Mike, again for that. That's amazing. Mark Caston says you are spot on every time. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Trading with J-Ride. Ethereum at 2,800. Is it? Oh, my goodness. Ethereum's up another $46 to $2,820, or 1.55% right now. It's up. Let me just catch up to these. I agree, Tom. Keep doing your best thing, TA, on YouTube. Or best technical analysis on YouTube. Appreciate that. Boots, my leverage bets aside, I'm hovering still. Be careful with leverage. Be careful with leverage. Best in the business, says Jose. Hey, that was a 2021 saying, too. Best in the business. I just can't relegate to calling myself whether I'm good or bad anymore because I think that's not for me to decide. I think if you start calling yourself the best, you're not really the best. It should be defined by the people watching and by your, by the way you lead. So, XRP, because we are coming to an end, I'm going to spend some time here with Julie on Valentine's Day. We're going to watch a movie. Julie, do you know which movie we're going to watch tonight? No. You know, I want to surprise Julie with a movie, but... Wait a minute, I just caught myself. I wanted Julie to surprise me, and I said it backwards. Well, looks like I'll be picking out the movie tonight, folks. Do we have any suggestions?
Something that doesn't involve women killing men.
What do you think about 8 fathers saying FUD? Honestly, I don't even know who that is. Ron? I'm just, I'm pretty oblivious with everything outside of what we do. Let's see. MG, that doesn't faze us. They dump $1 billion on us every single month. What do we care about a few million? You know, that's just gives you more time. Let's see. Matt says Julie's a saint. She sure is. She sure is putting up with me. But yeah, that's where we're at, folks. I appreciate this hour and 18 minutes more than you know. And everybody who sent a donation, I appreciate it. If you're looking to trade XRP, your favorite crypto, make sure to look in the video description below. MEXC right now, if you're part of it, they've got 0% spot maker fees and leverage trading fees. So spot or leverage, they switch it to 0% right now. So, and they were real low before at like 0.0001, but they've lowered it to 0. Wow, Jay Mathers, thank you so much for the $9.99 donation. His third donation while we've been on live streams, not today, but while he's been watching me. So I greatly appreciate that $9.99 donation. And I look forward to everybody coming back tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Roughly. Sometimes it's at 6:15, sometimes at 6:45. But that's the general area, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're building something special here. So if you keep watching day after day, you're going to get this in tune. You're going to get this down, and you're going to get this right. We're all going to get this right. I remember the speculators at the start of this live, they did not think Bitcoin was going to be up at 52.4 by the time we ended 44 minutes after the live. Or after the 7 o'clock flip. All I read about earlier was the order books are saying we're about to go short. And now we're up another 2,300 points. At what point are the shorts just going to understand? Until the volatility ends to the top side, this can keep going up to oblivion. You don't need a correction. We're in a very precarious spot here. That Bitcoin ETF is bringing in a lot of money. And you guys don't understand. Yes, it takes money out of crypto, or some of you do understand, but some don't. Yes, it's taking money out of Bitcoin through the crypto side and throwing it in the stock market. But what do the ETFs have to have on hand, folks? You got to buy Bitcoin. They got to buy Bitcoin. The BlackRock ETF for Bitcoin now, they got to buy up a shitload of Bitcoin. The reserves are going to dry up. It's going to be putting into too many spots. That's how we get a little bit of a... So basically what's happening is there's not enough Bitcoin to go around. The fact Michael Saylor and that MicroStrategies own so much Bitcoin and all this other stuff, it's going to be beautiful. I love this MG guy. MG's the guy at the bar that when you're with the date is sitting over there hitting on everybody and he's getting rejected. And then he goes up to every single girl using that same line, and eventually someone goes out with him and you're like, I can't believe somebody actually believed this guy. It's because he says the same thing over and over to every single woman, and eventually they fall for it. Just like eventually someone's going to fall for the trap. You know? That's what's cool about the heckler. You can either use it for you or against you. Yes, positivity, Jacob. That's 100%. You got to be positive. Jeff, exactly. Hey, you know what? We're all going to be here regardless, so it's always good to have a heckler. I like the hecklers. I'm getting rejected. You're right. I'm getting rejected, all right. I'm getting rejected by these higher property taxes. I'm getting rejected by the cost of energy going up. I'm getting rejected by everything else. But while you've been on, I'm certainly not getting rejected in the pocketbook because XRP is making me money while we're talking. So you can, you know, I love your energy. I like the energy. You're the friend I need. That's speculative.
You're a good friend.
MG. The heckler saying he's the friend I need, or the friend our crypto community needs. Hey, my guy. Do you ever go home and watch Cartman and go, you guys are my best friends until the end? Do you go over there? Or are you the guy that sits at home going, I'm going to ruin these guys' day and someone's going to get wild? I don't know. I'm just curious. These are my favorite people. You know, if church has taught me anything, it's that you have to embrace the common, the ill favor. There you go, Joshua. There we go. So, let's see. So, when we're actually looking at this, while I still have your attention, Julie, Bitcoin's up to 52,455 now. Did you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
It's up another 600 points after the close. So, yeah, enjoy your evening, everybody. I'm going to get going with Julie. I'm just enjoying that you guys are talking to MG. I don't want to end this conversation before I have to. So let me give Julie this so that she doesn't. All right, I'm going to shut this off, Bill. So thank you, everybody. Have a blessed evening. To all the members of Tom's Army, you are awesome. MG, I hope to see you tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We can continue this discussion. We'll see where XRP's at tomorrow. Maybe it'll be down. Maybe you'll be able to be like, hey, XRP's down 4%, you losers. You know, so hopefully we can give you that tomorrow. But right now, XRP's up 541. And we're looking to break out towards this resistance area. Before we can get, just real quick, before we can get to that descending triangle resistance, which is right around 55.5 cents. We got to get past this. And it is a broadening wedge, but I drew in the short-term little channel that's formed. We get past this. You really want to get past 55. That's just a short-term stuff drawn in here. Just to see if we're going to break down and have to consolidate a little bit here quickly. So, but yeah, it's been a pleasure, everybody. Thank you all so much. I look forward to MG. Just like the rest of the audience, I'm sure we'll be right back here tomorrow, hopefully. But we'll see what happens. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't done that already, and share this on social media. It's been an honor and a privilege, everybody. Have a blessed evening.